Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, August 7, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really live for this stuff. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can see that the entire Atlantic basin is still being dominated by a ridge of high pressure that's responsible for sending all of those tropical waves from Africa into the Caribbean. And we can see that there are about 5 tropical waves plaguing the Atlantic at this time. One right here across portions of Central America, one to the east of Jamaica affecting portions of Hispaniola, and one affecting portions of the eastern Caribbean at this time, with two other tropical waves across the main development region. If we take a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see some clouds across portions of the southeastern United States. We can see clouds associated with that other tropical wave across portions of Central America, clouds across sections of the Central Caribbean, including Hispaniola, clouds across the Eastern Caribbean, and those two patches of clouds associated with those two other tropical waves across the main development region. We'll be talking more about the Caribbean weather later on. Let's focus our attention on what took place across Jamaica for today. So in the afternoon, we saw that we had a buildup of clouds coming in from the east that brought some amount of overcast sky showers and thunderstorm sections of some central and western patches, especially western Jamaica, got in on some of that. And we saw that on the infrared satellite images. Better we know that when we take a look at the infrared satellite images and we see those sparkling white dots, that's indicative of some amount of lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes. And we see those reds and oranges that represent some high cold cloud tops, and we can see that that was being somewhat sheared off towards the south by those upper level winds. If we take a look at the Cuban Doppler radar images right now, we can see that rainfall that brought that afternoon convection off to the west of Jamaica, it has now moved offshore, now affecting the waters to the west of the island. So any fishers that are out there, marine interest, they might be getting affected by that. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we see that we have 82 degrees Fahrenheit in Montego Bay. That's about the equivalent of 26 degrees Celsius. And we have 84 degrees Fahrenheit in Kingston. That's about the equivalent of 27.7, almost 28 degrees Celsius. And as usual, as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. As it relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see Jamaica embedded in some orange shades that represent at least 2 degrees Celsius above average temperatures. And we know the average temperatures for the month of August in Jamaica is about 91 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius. So if we should be receiving up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures for tomorrow, we should get anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most. As it relates to the dry air forecast, we can see that right now we have a lot of dry air right there across portions of the main development region, especially to the northwest of Africa. We see those reds and white within those reds. We see some slight dry air right there across the southern Caribbean to the south of Jamaica, as indicated by those yellows and orange shades. However, as it relates to the Saharan dust, we can see some slight Saharan dust in the forecast. This is 2 p.m. on Tuesday, and we see the Saharan dust across portions of the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, Cuba, and sections of the northern Caribbean, including Jamaica. But that's on the weak end of the Saharan dust scale. If we're gonna be looking out for, respiratory illnesses or hazy skies, we have to see those darker shades of browns, and we see that darker shade of brown across the northern portions of the main development region to the east of the northeastern Caribbean. And at this time of year, majority of this dust will be dissipating the more west it goes, and we're quite grateful for that. As it relates to the wave forecast, we can see both the Euro and the GFS showing 12 p.m. on Tuesday, and we're going to be getting anywhere from 0 to 1.5 meter wave height, especially on the eastern side of the island, where those winds are coming in from the east, averaging at least 20 knots at most. If we take a look at the wind shear forecast, we can see the wind shear not so drastic. 18D on Tuesday actually shows that we're gonna be having more of an easterly wind shear across the Jamaica area from the Euro model. The GFS showing more of a southerly flow of wind shear. Either way, we don't have much of those strong winds. We know the upper level wind shear is more intense, the more colorful the map gets, from white to blues to greens, oranges, and reds. So we don't have that strong wind shear. We actually have light wind shear across the Caribbean region. So whenever these tropical waves are ready to get, going, they won't have that much going against them. So they might just develop. As it relates to the rain forecast for tomorrow, we can see some blues that represent rainfall across sections of eastern Jamaica, maybe sections of Kingston and St. Andrew, sections of St. Thomas and Portland. We see that on GFS. What time is this? This is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 a.m. Jamaica time. And we see something similar on the Euro model with some blues across those very same spots, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and Portland. So we'll see exactly what unfolds at that time, 10 a.m. If we skip ahead to about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time, we see some darker shades of blue spreading to central and western Jamaica. The GFS showing more blues across especially the cockpit country, southern St. James, southwest Trelawney, northern St. Elizabeth, while the Euro shows more of those darker shades of blues across sections of Manchester. Either way, it's showing rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica. So we can't rule out uh, some rainfall across maybe inland areas of St. Catherine, inland areas of St. Anne, Trelawney, inland areas of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James. So we'll see exactly what unfolds with that. We're definitely in for some amount of rainfall for tomorrow afternoon across central and western Jamaica. And if we actually take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast by both the Euro and the GFS models, we know these maps actually show the amount of rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. We're not saying that we're going to be having rainfall all the way up until then, but when it comes, it's going to be in these spots specifically: central and western parishes, especially during the afternoon across Jamaica, and eastern parishes in the morning. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting some more rainfall to put some kind of a dent in the hydrological drought that we're experiencing, that's causing the National Water Commission to, incorporate some amount of restrictions across the Jamaica area. So we know that in the month of August across Jamaica, we have Kingston, it's bar graph at the top, Montego Bay's bar graph at the bottom. In the month of August, we start ramping up with more tropical waves, more instability in the atmosphere, bringing more clouds, showers, and thunderstorms. Then we step into the month of September, where we get even more rainfall, and October, the wettest month of the year across Jamaica. So it's just a waiting game at this point. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see a lot of clouds bring some showers and thunderstorms to sections of Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua associated with that tropical wave. Clouds across sections of Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti getting in on some amount of overcast skies and rainfall. We even had some afternoon convection across sections of southern Cuba. We can see some clouds across sections of Puerto Rico, and we definitely have having some amount of rainfall across sections of the Leeward and Windward Islands at this time. And if we even take a look at the Doppler radar images from about 2:30 p.m. today, we can see that yes, we indeed had a lot of showers and thunderstorms across sections of central and western Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia. Definitely got in on some amount of rainfall associated with that tropical wave, and some of this rainfall could spill into Tuesday as well. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images to see what's happening right now across the waters around Barbados, we can see some rainfall coming in from the south and the east, maybe later on tonight, but a lot of the rainfall is right there out to the north of Barbados. So sections of St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica getting in on majority of the rainfall. Not so much rainfall right now across sections of Trinidad and Tobago. But if we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall across sections of southwestern Florida, sections of southern Cuba, sections of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, sections of Guatemala, the Yucatan Peninsula, sections of Colombia, sections of Venezuela, and we can even see some rainfall coming into sections of French Guiana at this time. As it relates to the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both maps are showing 18Z on Tuesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Tuesday. And we see that we're going to be having some above normal temperatures all across the board from the United States, Central America, the Greater Antilles, into the Lesser Antilles, as well as the northern sections of South America, getting in on some amount of above normal temperatures for tomorrow. As it relates to the Saharan dust forecast, we can see that Saharan dust across sections of southern Florida, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, sections of Cuba, sections of Jamaica, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, but it's not that drastic across the northern Caribbean islands. The most drastic Saharan dust is right there across the northern main development region where we see those darker shades of browns. That's what we don't want to see because that is where or respiratory illnesses will act up, whether it's asthma, sinusitis, and we'll see those hazy skies. These darker shades of browns, that's where we have the most robust plumes of dust, and we're grateful that the more this plume of dust moves westward, it's going to be dissipating to look more milky or lighter brown, like what's currently happening across the central Caribbean's forecast. As related to the wave forecast, we can see that we're going to be having up to zero point 0.5 meter wave heights, zero point 0.5 of a meter wave height across the Gulf of Mexico, with at least up to 1.5 meter wave heights stretching from the eastern to the western Caribbean. And you see that on both the U and the GFS malls. And that's due to the fact that we're going to be having an easterly flow across the Caribbean region, averaging up to 20 knots at most. And if we take a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, both of these maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we do see that we're definitely in store for some slight rainfall across sections of Florida, the Bahamas, sections of Cuba, maybe the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, sections of Haiti. We're definitely going to be getting in on some more rainfall, maybe some flood triggering rainfall across sections of Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, and sections of the Leeward Islands right there, especially areas to the south of Guadeloupe. So if you're not already getting the rainfall, definitely more to come up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. So Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, sections of Trinidad, sections of Barbados, and we see both the Euro and the GFS malls showing something similar, and we even see some rainfall in store for sections of northern South America, so sections of Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, southern Belize, and sections of Guatemala. I know that when we have the consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.